or what is it?
Contacts.
Contacts.
Contact. Yeah, like it's kind of like Salesforce, but more on like local on your computer.
Okay.
hmm So that's just another one I did, and then I found a motherboard soldering guy.
Nice.
That has his own like solder station in his house, and he's been doing it for 40 years with TVs and everything else. And he's a great outsourcer, so we just give everything to him, everything too, and he's great. And
Wow.
that's been good for us. And then I just brought on a Macintosh consultant for Minneapolis, and she's got 25 years experience. She was looking for side work, and she's perfect because we don't get a lot of Macs.
25 years.
hmm Yeah, so when we need someone, we've got her in. And then I have a website guy I refer work to as well for WordPress and SEO stuff. If people need it. So it's like outsourcing and referrals, because I like to be full service, but without doing it all.
Totally.
I don't want to have to do. I'm not going to get into websites. I'm not going to get into a lot of the stuff other companies might want to do. I said we're going to keep the core repair, and that's it.
Yeah, you're avoiding overwork by doing what you're doing, and that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah. I'm even nervous about bringing in iPad and iPod and iPhone repair, but I think I have to.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that that's the future. If I was going to get back in the business, that's what I'd be looking at.
Well, the tablets alone, the thing is with that is that, I mean, we already are starting to get calls for a week maybe, and I'm just thinking I got to get these guys trained now because it's the market. And I'm nervous, but I'm going to do it. Because I have to learn it too.
Well, not necessarily. Why do you have to learn it?
Because I like to know everything that we do.
I got you.
Except for hardware.
That's actually good. That's actually good.
Yeah, I know. I just want to make sure I know. Like, I just don't like doing hardware. I'm capable of doing it. It's not my thing.
I know. I understand.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well, speaking of those things, on the other, some of the other risks that we have done or that I've been through, in addition to adding on the contractors, is called processes. Now that you have a company, processes change, and you have to write the processes and make sure people follow them. And there's a lot. And you know what?
You mean like procedures that people follow?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to learn, like, we've got processes set up, and unless people get trained, the right way, and then there's checks and balances. You got to check to make sure they're doing it.
Right.
That's a management issue.
Totally.
And I've learned, yeah, it's a lot of work because I spent a sabbatical last summer where I took a break from life and went and wrote the manual of operations and did, how we're going to do some new processes for the company, and just spent a lot of alone time figuring out how I wanted it done and what worked the best.
Right.
And it's still hard to get people to follow it. Because everything is there for a reason, so you try to cut things out to make it easier. And
so what are you doing about that?
Well, right now I just kind of check everything, as I'm like the operations manager. So I've kind of got my eye on lots of little different things. And so when I see something not working right, I'll go pop in and say, how come you're not doing this? And I'll hear, oh, I forgot, or I don't know. And like, well, let's start doing it because this is important. There's a reason why you do this. And otherwise it wouldn't be, on the list or whatever.
Right.
Because there's a lot of things that we do. And like every tune-up has a 22-point checklist, and we got to make sure those things get done, and people are backing up and, signing things, and just, I don't know.
So you write up these checklists?
Yep.
Okay. And then
I made them.
And how do you train people to follow them?
You know what? We've done some phone conference call trainings, and sometimes I go in person, and sometimes we just have to change something because, like, all of a sudden there's a process change because of an emergency. Like, we figured something out. Now, like, we have to add it. So I send out emails.
Cool.
My team does a lot of G-chatting. We're all on G-chat together, and we share Dropbox accounts like crazy.
Cool.
Lots of it.
Yeah, that's you're talking about quality control, basically, right? And that's like a whole other department of organizations. I mean, somebody has to wear the hat.
Well, guess what? That's the next job opening at Call That Girl. It's operations manager.
Nice.
It's not going to be me. I'm quitting soon.
Quitting. Good.
Quitting ops manager.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot to manage. And right now, with the contract, we have 13 techs on for that. And I've got I have a handful, like 6, 7 other contractors. So it's like 20 something right now.
Wow.
No. It's growing really fast. And I want to make sure I don't forget these days, because the dream is happening now. This wasn't what the dream was supposed to be, Steve.
Oh, wait. Well, what's the dream? Now that you got on, what's the dream?
I don't know. I think 5 years ago, I just wanted to have this huge call center giving awesome tech support. So that's far from the dream. And I was like, oh, nice. I was like sitting in my office doing Outlook. Like, oh, I was just gonna, and my whole team would be doing call center stuff. I think that was just, I just wanted to have a big business, to prove I could do it.
Yeah.
And prove that, I had customer service and tech support and help desk would not be for, not forgotten, but kind of like, just it's important too for the clients I'm servicing. And a lot of computer repair shops, they don't do help desk, and they don't, care about the customer service. And that to me was really important.
So you're doing help desk a little bit. You're doing help desk and on-site support. So you're doing, okay.
That's on-site at our shops and remote.
Okay, good. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's what Call That Girl is as of right now.
Yeah. It's kind of a full service. If you need the other stuff, other people, you have to pay them, but at least I have a referral.
Good. Very cool stuff. So we still got some time if you want to hit us up with some more risks.
Well, let's see.
Or any other thing you want to talk about.
Well, the other thing I did this year was I closed the store and I opened one in the same town within 4 months.
Why did you do that?
Because my old location sucked and I wasn't getting any traffic. And my new location is on a fast, busy corner with 4 lights, and it's in a perfect location. There's 6 dorms going to be built right around me, and a new food store across our kitty corner, a big one.
What's it, college town?
It's a new college town.
They just opened a college?
Yeah, University of Minnesota.
Neat.
Yeah, it's a big satellite campus for Rochester for medical.
Okay.
So I'm 2 blocks from their main campus right now.
Awesome. So how's that going at that shop?
It's pretty good. The little store, that's what I call it, the little shop, whatever. It's doing well. It's really nice. We're working on new marketing. Even though we have 2 big banners up, it still doesn't get the bam I thought we would, but we did initially, and then people just got used to it, I think.
Right.
Yeah. We had 5 walk-ins in 2 hours today, so I was like, that was cool.
Hey, that's not bad at all.
No, that was nice. And then it dropped, but I was still wow, it was a good morning.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that was another thing I took a risk on, was closing a shop and then flipping it around and getting another one. And, again, you're setting up a new contract, a new deal.
And, lesson learned there is just don't get a shop in a crappy location, right?
It was bad. Yeah. And I learned that the first location I had was like a wood shop of sorts, but it was a really nice, all the floors had gorgeous woodwork, and the guy was a floor finisher or whatever, and it just didn't suit it. It was an old house, and it was kind of behind, and I thought it was gonna be great, and I was like, this is it, and it wasn't.
I gotcha.
Now I try to look at things a little differently. Before I take that risk is I'm opening my store in Minneapolis, we're going to close it and move to one in the city. I'm in a suburb right now. We're going to move to Minneapolis proper. And I've done a lot more thinking about that store than any of them, because that one's a bigger risk.
Why? It's more expensive?
No, it's a little more expensive, but there's more calculations that have to be into play, because now it's a store I have to be staffed up maybe 7 days a week.
Wow.
And I have to have, these guys have to know iPads and iPods and all that stuff, because that whole market, no one does it. And that's a lot of the city. I'm going to be the only repair shop in that neighborhood, South Minneapolis.
So you're just anticipating being mad busy.
Well, I'm just preparing. I mean, it could be slow, but I'm the thing is I have enough business right now in the suburb location to make it work.
I see.
So there's a lot of risk with that, though. But now that I have everything in place, I don't have to, it's not going to be a big deal.
I see.
That's why the growing pains suck. But eventually it's everything's done now.
Right.
I already have all that insurance. I just tell them to add a new location on.
Right. That makes it easy.
Yeah, you call the guy and say, yeah, just switch it. Okay. Now you're going to go up $40. Okay, whatever. No biggie.
Huh.
But I think, and all these.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say that I think it's really good you're talking about coming out the other end shiny at the other end. I mean, there's a lot of crap that I think people don't want to confront. Like, I know I wouldn't want to have to confront all that stuff. But you're basically saying it's worth it. I mean, we could see that it is. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool.
Well, I guess if you don't take a risk, you'll never know. And then if you're going to lose like thousands of dollars, then you really better calculate it pretty good. But to me, I was just going to lose time, maybe a little bit of money. None of the risks I did were that expensive. Right. And the one little third store, that one took a little more time because it was like an official satellite, like the first one away from Mama. I see. I wasn't there a lot. So that one actually was the biggest learning lesson because I had staff 40 miles away that I wasn't seeing, and the training and just dealing with it all.
Well, how did you handle it?
You know what? I did a lot of conference calls and I drove there enough. But the thing is, when I got there, I wasn't in my home base, so I couldn't really work. So at the time when I go to those stores, you better just plan on just working in that store. Right. Because that's what they're going to all want to talk to you the whole time because you're there. The boss is there. And moving ahead, I don't know if I would do a location like that again unless I could go and move there for a few months and actually set it up and do, things like that.
It's too far away.
Well, like the fourth location I'm looking at is different because that's kind of like a contracting franchise thing. And it's going to be different. So it's not a store. It's just like a lady's office.
I see.
She just wants to sell services.
What do you mean?
Well, she has an office business over there, and she's already a client of ours, and she wants to market her services, and she wants to put computer repair on there. And one of the contracts I have a technician in that town already, so that technician could do the services for her, and we could do remote from the home base in Rochester.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like she would be kind of like independent contractor getting us work, but she doesn't have to do any of it.
Right. So you have another independent contractor doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Well, she likes it because then it looks better for her services list.
No, I mean, it's good. But I mean, like, once she gets a job, then she hires one of your independent contractors or one of your employees.
My employee.
I see. So he's an employee. Okay.
Yeah. She would still use our work orders and stuff like that, though.
Yeah.
I'm working it out now because it's not a franchise. It's just more, it's kind of like an independent agent of like Allstate, those guys.
I gotcha.
But without franchising. I got to figure it out with the lawyer and see how I can make it work.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. So let me see my list here. So a few things that I've learned that we didn't talk about was all these risks I kept taking. I kept forgetting about something really important called sales. All the marketing and sales and stuff. And just in the last few months, I really kind of found the equation finally with enough research and reading and seeing what other people are doing is I started bringing in prepaid plans for the remote support clients. Oh, was that a win? Holy smoke.
Yeah.
That's so nice. You have that one client that you're servicing already. You're like, hey, you know what? Let's have you buy 4 hours and put it on the books. Then next time you call, you don't have to pay and deal with it. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Your cash flow goes up that week.
Right.
And you already know you're going to be servicing them again. So what's the difference between these tiny little bills or just one big one?
Right.
And I've been doing that a lot for like the last 4 months.
Sweet.
So that's been real helpful. Yeah. Because I know we're stable. We can do it. I've got 5 or 6 guys trained in remote support now. So it's real nice.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a win.
Yeah. And then we also started, I think last time I talked to you was the antivirus protection plan that we offer. Yeah. That sold really well. Yeah, we did really good with that. And plus it's nice for our clients because we do free virus removals with those.
What do you mean if they get the plan? If they get the plan?
Yeah, if they get the plan, there's no more fees for them for viruses.
Wow.
They're done.
How much does the plan cost?
$69
a month.
For the first year, and the second year is $39.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a good little upsell, especially with virus removals, and it benefits them.
Totally.
And us.
Do you find you're doing a lot of jobs? Like, or do you have customers that get infected like every other weekend?
No,
okay,
not really. No, we've only had like 4 or 5 people call back. Huh. And sometimes they call back because they didn't have, like Java update or something, right, to catch it right away.
Wow.
A Java update. Ugh. Always gets you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait to move everything over to Linux, but that's not going to happen for a while.